stable, even though, but you just know the trend. So I'll know when to buy more product and when to lay off, different things like that. But the main thing is just saving and putting the money back in at the right time.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. The question is talking about different ups and downs that you may go through within your business, and how do you recover from those, and if you have any examples of an up or down period and what you learned from that, I guess.
Okay. In the weatherization business, one ups and downs, like for example, we get majority of our work from one agency. Well, as of lately, we haven't been getting as much work from that agency, so we've had to supplement that by reaching out to the other agencies to try to increase our workload, as well as talking to other counties and different things, utility companies, to try to get additional business, because we don't want to ever go under a certain number of jobs per month. So networking has really been the way to, and reaching out, talking to people about additional opportunities has been key to, kind of, balance out the ups and downs. I guess was it a mistake that you made?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I guess it would be probably in a real estate business. Early on, my first house, my intent was to buy property, fix it up, and resell it. I was planning to take the money from that investment, reinvest it, use that capital, to grow and to get more property. Well, my first property, I bought it, rehabbed it, put it on the market. It didn't sell. So
that didn't go as planned.
It didn't go as planned.
Like a problem right there.
Exactly. So I didn't have a proper exit strategy. One thing I realized is that you have to have an exit strategy in the real estate business. It doesn't always go as planned. So I ended up doing a lease option, which is a rent to own, with someone. And another mistake I made with that was I didn't do my due diligence on a person I decided to lease the property with. I was excited. She said she wanted to buy it. She loved it. I saw that she could afford it, but she had a bankruptcy. And the intent was for her to lease it for a year and then get a mortgage and then purchase it. That wasn't happening with the bankruptcy. You're not cleaning that up for at least 3, probably 7 years. Had I done my due diligence, I would have known that, and I wouldn't have kind of gotten to that situation. In addition to that, later on, she ran into some difficulties, stopped paying her rent. Now I'm left with having to evict her, as well as some other things from her leaving utilities, and me having to pay those things. So it was a huge learning experience. Actually, I wouldn't take it back because what I gained from that is invaluable. But the main thing is not having a proper exit strategy, as well as doing my due diligence on the people that I'm renting to or that I'm trying to sell to.
The old saying with entrepreneurs, fail quickly, so you can move up a lot faster.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily fail, but at least trip quickly, so that you can stand back up. You never want to fail. I know.
You still call it fail because you lose money you can't gain back.
Yeah.
That's why.
Very, very true.
In sales, you definitely have your ups and downs. I never know day to day what it's going to be like. So I think what's really important is, first of all, never take your success for granted. Number 2, build solid referral relationships so people know and trust you, so that in the hard times, you can call that person up and say, hey, you know what, I'm having a really tough week. Is there anybody at all that you can go through your Rolodex and let me know if there's somebody that I can call? Perhaps they're unhappy with their current payroll provider. Maybe they want to compare costs to save money. So I think it's really important to keep those relationships strong, even in the good times, because they're going to remember you and they're going to refer you and think about you on a daily basis, hopefully.
Being that your goal is to have your business venture succeed, how do you manage a balance between work and life?
Work and play.
Play. I need to schedule everything. Sylvia has been teaching me to do that. I have a tough time relaxing and meditating and I don't have it on my calendar, it's probably not gonna get done. So, I make sure that I plan dinner with clients or lunch with clients. I make sure that I plan my weekend getaways with my family and my friends, just to make sure that I do have that balance. Otherwise, I probably work around the clock. Seem to be anyway when I'm out having a good time. I'm probably still handing out my card, but that's what I really need to do is schedule it.
Same here. I have to schedule. I run off a schedule anyway. You know, clients book by appointment. But again, if I don't write it down, I will not remember because I think I eat, sleep, breathe hair. I can't. So if I will remember a hair appointment a month from now, but I won't remember a doctor's appointment or like something else. So I have to schedule.
Well, for me, I got married about a year ago.
And you're still married?
Well, prior to that, I could work around the clock. That's changed. So,
She changed things.
yeah, absolutely.
Put her foot down.
Get in here at 6 o'clock. But no, now I have a really open, we really communicate about my schedule. She knows that everywhere I'm at, what I'm doing. So if it's going to be a late night, she knows, this is what I'm doing. And I really try not to pull late nights too often. I really try to get home at a decent hour. And I really try to do that, as much as I can. So it's really just maintaining that open, honest communication, trying to get home at a decent hour. And then I also plan out specific time for just me and her time. Date night, just time for just us to be together outside of business. And that's been working well.
Wait till you have kids.
Pretty good. I'll try to change things again.
No fear, no pressure though.
We'll take our
Beautiful
time.
things.
We do that.
I think they serve beer at Chuck E. Cheese now.
Yes.
You would know. Okay.
It's very
Regroup.
They serve alcohol at Chuck E. Cheese. It's great.
The next question is about ethics.
We all fail. We didn't trip, we failed.
Okay, being ethical in today's world is more important than ever. What strategies do you use to ensure that your practices are ethical and your customers/client base are happy?
I think for me, my reputation is very important to me, and if I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. And I keep my commitments, unless of course it's completely out of my control, but if a client calls me, I return their call usually within 4 hours. I mean, that's specific, because that's really important to me. If they're an unhappy client, that's even more reason to call them faster and take care of the problem. So, doing what I say I'm gonna do, I think is probably the most important thing for me.
That's also like saying what you mean and mean what you say. You know what I mean? And I have to post, things have to be in writing, because you have clients who they don't like their hair when they're there. There's no complaint. Then they'll go home and want to call you 2 days later and complain about it and want a refund. So just putting things in writing. Being accommodating, but also being firm on what the policy is. You're aware of it. It's in writing. It's there. And we stick to it. And I don't bend rules. Rules are rules. Where for my receptionist, you have to be there at a certain time. You have to dress a certain type of way. There was no bending. So, and I think staying firm helps keep the balance, because when you start to get comfortable and you relax your rules, people take give an inch to take a yard. So staying firm.
Well, for me, it's one, learning from mistakes. I've made mistakes in the past, so learning from them and making sure you don't repeat them in the future. Additionally, for like a property, rental property, for example, I try to make things, nice to the point that is livable for me. So I try to make things to my standards, and usually that meets everyone else's. From a weatherization standpoint, we have a government contract, so that's easy. If we don't, our clients have to sign off on the work that it was done satisfactorily. But also, if it's not, we won't continue to work. So that kind of, does it for itself. But also, we're just a company that prides itself on doing good work. We want to grow. We want to, have a good name. So we do every job to the best of our ability, and it's served us well.
Okay, so overall, what characteristics do you think it takes to be a successful entrepreneur, and what kind of advice would you give someone interested in venturing into your business?
Optimism and tough skin, and not afraid to fail. Like if this is what you want to do it. You can control it. If you want it, go and get it. If you fail, you don't really fail. You just start over. You know what I mean? Okay, it didn't work this way. Try it another way.
Right.
But if that's what you want to do, claim it, and you can do it.
I would say passion for what you want to do. It has to be more than just the money, or more than wanting to control your own time. You have to really be passionate about what you're doing, because that's what will help drive you during difficult times. Also, patience, because things don't happen overnight. It takes time to build a business, to a respectable level. And then the last piece is good, strong management skills. I had to learn this because I'm naturally a laid-back person. Like you were saying, you got to be tough. You got to be willing, even if you're a nice person, you got to be willing to put people in check, because at one point or another, everybody needs check. And you got to be willing to put people in check at different times, or your business is going down. That's very important. Management is more than just a notion. I thought it was, just delegate something, give them a call and say, hey, did you do this? Real lax with it. No, it's more than just delegating and saying they'll get it done. It's really more than a notion. It's really a skill that I respect so much more now. So just really good management skills, and taking your time with finding the right people. That's really one of the biggest pieces to a successful business, is finding the right people.
I think for me, I have to teach myself to slow down. You have to really like challenges. You have to have a competitive spirit. You have to have clear goals. Know what it is that you want to accomplish at the end of the day. You have to have determination and persistence as well.